All right, I will say good morning. Let us begin. So we picked up actually at the end of last week in Os Mem Tes in Tzidkas HaTzaddik, which if you it was a little while ago, but if you remember, it was really an incredible and overwhelming piece that the Rebbe was introducing. Let's actually just spend a few moments we have this morning, because I'd like to start the daf on time. Just chazering over. Just let's take a look at the beginning of Os Mem Tes again. So let's look at it through the lens of the Biurei Chasidus. So it's page. If you're following along in the Sefer, it's page Kuf Tes Zayin. If you're following along in the PDF, it's the same. It's the same PDF I sent out last week. So the Rebbe writes as follows: Kol echad mi Yisrael yeda yesh lo das lahavin shedafka ba'osam hakochos sheyitzro tokfo umiskaber alav biyoser. Umasis es ha'adam lishtamish b'nasi asra. So we'll say this is incredible. Remember, in the last two seifim, in the last two osos, in Memchas and Memzayin, so the Rebbe in Memzayin, the Rebbe was talking about that there is no such thing as a bad koach or a bad midah. Everything in life is just a shayla of how you channel your life abilities and strengths. In Memches, he spoke about the negativity of connecting to the Rasha, of connecting to a person who is evil, and even if it's for good intentions, it's not going to work out well. Now in Memtes, the Rebbe comes down on a much more personal level, and he discusses over here as follows, that sometimes in life, I think I mentioned this the last time we learned this, that most of us struggle with a number of different things, but usually we struggle acutely with one thing. There's that one thing, or maybe those two things, but let's focus on the one thing that I have been struggling with for years. It's the same struggle. It's the same overwhelming circumstance. It's the same avera. And for whatever reason, I just can't seem to get a handle on it. No matter how many times, no matter how many plans of actions I make, for whatever the reason, I seem to still be mired in the same avera over and over and over. So the Rebbe says something amazing. See, he says, when a person struggles with something, harei ze melamed shu be'etzem kli muchan le'inyan tikum osman dvarim v'akochos. So the Rebbe says, that which you struggle with the most, in and of itself, shows you the thing that you have the ability to be metakin, the thing that you have the ability to fix. So we'll see exactly what this means, but look at these words. Harei ze melamed shu be'etzem, the thing that you struggle with most, Harei ze melamed, that teaches us, shu be'etzem kli muchan le'inyan tikun osam dvarim, that I have the ability to be metakin, that I'm a vessel that has the ability to rectify. I am a vessel that has the ability to fix those very things, or that very thing, which is now broken. V'shu muchshar v'roi biyoser lios kochem elu nikiyim v'zakim esa. Now what he just said harkens back to Os Mem Zayin. Furthermore, again, remember, avera, any sin is a result, ultimately, again, of koach, of energy. The fact that I have a koach to sin indicates to me that I have a koach. And if I go ahead and I channel that koach in the right way, I could accomplish incredibly wonderful things. So the Rebbe is saying two things over here. One of them, a chazara, that if I sin, I will say, here's the amazing part, is that most really good averas don't generally occur as a result of apathy. Right? Think about this. Like the mamish, like the most kishmak averas, the juiciest averas, right? Always come because of like some burst of energy or some burst of action. So the Rebbe says, incredible. That means if you sin, that means ultimately again that I have koach. So going back to Os Mem Zayin, that's good news. Because koach, that means I just have to channel it in a different direction in order to accomplish something great. That's fantastic. But the Rebbe is introducing here, I will say something else, which is that if I sin with something, if Yitzro Tokfo, both say Yitzro Tokfo means I'm not just like an episodic sinner, right? This is not just a recreational sinner. This is not just on weekends, and days off. But Mamish Yitzro Tokfo means I struggle with something day in and day out. Says the Rebbe, what that tells me is that I'm a kli muchan litinyan tikun osan dvarim. That there is something about that avera which shows me my incredible koach, my incredible strength in life. Let's explain. V'dafka ba'osam hadvarim sha'adam hirba lifshua bahem. Machmas rov hiskarbos hayetzir alav. Yeda ne'emana benavsho shu yoser kli muchan lios daika ba'osa davar naki ubar levav shelibo yiyeh muvrar bo l'shim shmayim. I will say, here's what's amazing. A person should know, says the Rebbe, that when I struggle with something specific, right? When I struggle with one particular avera that I stumble on over and over and over again, know that means that you dafka have the ability to achieve a heightened level of perfection. I use that word loosely, you understand? Heightened level of perfection in that area. Which will say, this sounds totally counterintuitive, but what the Rebbe is saying is, the area that I struggle in most is the area in which I have the greatest amount of koach to perfect. Which, now that we saw Os Mem Zayin, makes sense. Because remember, again, sin is a manifestation. Sin is a manifestation of koach. Sin is a result of koach. It's just the misuse of koach. So what the Rebbe is saying is, that area where you sin most, where I sin most, is the area where I apply the greatest amount of koach. Which therefore means that if I were to go ahead and rechannel that koach, this thing which I sin with now could become the very greatest source of my strength and ability. So the Rebbe goes on, he says, he says, so we'll say, so now we have to analyze this, because what the Rebbe's really kind of unpacking here, I think, is something incredibly profound. Because if you would ask me before I learned this piece by the Rebbe, I would say, okay, yes, of course, we all have multiple struggles, but I think many of us have one area in which we struggle most, right? One thing, one avera, one area, in life in which we struggle most. So, okay, I understand that shows I have koach, that shows I have passion, that shows I have ability. And therefore, if I could just rechannel it in the right way, there's no telling what I could become. But here the Rebbe is introducing something else. Here the Rebbe is saying is, if I struggle in a particular area, that shows me, and again, his wording is so profound, that shows me that I am a kli muchan lihios daika ba'osa davar nakiu bar levav. The area which I struggle with most is the area in which I have the ability to achieve the greatest strides in life. The area in which I struggle with most is the area in which I have the ability to achieve the greatest strides, the greatest steps in life. So we'll have to stop over here for today. But we'll pick up, now that we have the concepts, right? These are the two principles. Now that we have the principles, and Me'eretz Hashem, we'll see the application of these principles next week. Shkach, I will say.